Hello everybody, it's me again, that man travelling across Europe to escape from COVID. We're driving through COVID country. We're not actually very sure where we are. We know we're on the top of a mountain somewhere, but it could be Germany or it could be Austria. We don't really have a clue. The sat-nav won't tell us for some inexplicable reason, but we'll talk about sat-navs in a minute, because sat-navs are nothing but robots. Now, what actually has got me is the fact I've just realised we are lost on top of a mountain somewhere in Europe. We don't know if we're in Germany or Austria, as I've said, but the reason for it is this: we've just driven 3,500 miles across Britain and across Europe on motorways. Now, motorways are faceless. There's no difference. It's just a big long road with... Who paints these white lines that go for thousands and thousands and thousands of miles? What a job. What a boring job it must be. But that's what we're on. There's crash barriers, trees, there's cars, there's wagons, there's lorries, but not as many as you would expect. And what actually happened to us, we got on a motorway in Britain, I think it was the M6, I assume it was the M6, and we got onto the M1 and the M42 and all other things. Then what we did, we got to this awful place called Folkestone, and went under the sea on a train, in a car. Our car went under the sea on a train, and we came out the other end, popped out like that, and went on a motorway again. And we have been on motorways now for thousands of miles. Now, one of the first ecological songs, as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure there are more, and it'd be interesting if anybody's got an idea to tell me, was The Doors, when they did, and I completely forgot the name of the song now, but not to touch the earth, not to dig the sun, nothing left to do but run. We can't run anywhere. There's no running places. There's nothing. Do you know the other thing that there isn't anymore? You can't get out of your car and mitulate. There's a word for you, mitulate. Anywhere in Britain and Europe, from experience until now, you could get out of your car, nip behind a bush and have a quick mitulate. Now you can't. All those mitulating little covert places have vanished. And what they put in the place of them are service stations, which have got toilets, and they've got beef burgers, and they've got toys, they've got beer, they've got wine, and that replaces those little covert bushes where you used to go for a slash. You don't have them anymore. You have to stop. And you know what you do? You have to pay. You have to put money, not in somebody's hand, you have to put money in a machine. And then they give you some back so you can go and buy a coffee. That's outrageous. What's that? So you have a coffee, then you have to go and have a slash again. And then you get money back, but you can only spend it on coffee. I've just been told off. I think I got a bit dramatic. And yeah, and what it is, what I'm trying to get across is, I suppose, because of COVID, we are facing real dystopia, but we've isolated ourselves from the world. We use, right, what is probably the most inconsistent thing ever invented by man. We use it for everything. We use it for communicate. We use it to find out which way we go up the motorways that cross the world, and that's the internet. The internet is total rubbish. Where we are going back, which is where we live in Slovakia, we have internet in our apartment, but it's cheap. The reason it's cheap, and I think this is very good of the Slovak suppliers, is because there is a tree between us and their transmitter thing for the internet. So they've given it us for €18 a month, but it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. We've got telephones, we can't make calls on them. We don't have an ordinary phone where you just pick it up and talk into it. We have stupid camera phones. We have phones that'll do anything, well, I can't say that, but they will do anything you want. And what they won't do is make a phone call. Now, we're living in a COVID world, and look at it, I'm now in a traffic jam. There's no traffic here. All of a sudden, this is where all the traffic is. It's just hit us. We're in a traffic jam on the top of a mountain somewhere in Europe. I wonder if these people know where they are. I don't. But what I'm trying to get out...
Are you going to let him in?
Who? No, I wasn't letting him in, no. I've just been told off for not letting that man in. It was very rude of me, actually. I should have let him in, but he just now thinks English dickhead. Well, I am sometimes. Well, gets lost. So, where was he up to? What crossed my mind was, we have, like Jim Morrison said, destroyed this earth. We've killed it. We've built factories everywhere. We rip each other off for money. Sorry, mate. I've just apologised to him. He's only in a Renault anyway. Me. And I've completely lost my track now. But we have destroyed this world. We have totally destroyed and given over our lives to robots and lines of traffic. And then we've been hit by COVID, and we don't know what to do. Isn't that frightening? Boris is also going on about the fact that he's now killed off any deal with Europe. Good on him, because people say now it's only a bluff. Well, maybe it is a bluff, but maybe it isn't a bluff. Maybe what he's seen is what I see, which, you know, I'm not the world's greatest businessman, but I've survived for a long time. And that's the fact that if you kill off any connection with Europe at this minute, right, at this crisis point of COVID, then it doesn't mean that you won't get a deal, because everybody, if we come out of COVID, which I'm sure we will, and we are on our knees, trapped on top of a mountain, not knowing where we are, and the whole world is in that situation, everybody's going to want to do a deal. Good on you, Boris, because that's how you could make good deals, by not being forced into tariffs, by not doing it, by not having people dictate to you when you're an autonomous state and what you're going to do. Boris is probably right. This world is on its knees because of COVID and all sorts of other things as well. It's just not worth going into. But we can now renegotiate with everybody in the world, because everybody is going to want to make a deal. I'm really upset I cut that man up. Anyway, I'm going now. Bye-bye.